Mayor Bass. First, we're going to hear from Mayor Bass. Following that, we'll hear from Fire Chief Kristen Crowley. After that, we will hear from Los Angeles County Supervisors Chair Lindsay Horvath. Following that, we will hear from Councilwoman Katie Orslowski, who represents the area that we are here right now. After that, we will hear from Dr. Ariel Cohen, who's a meteorologist in charge of the National Weather Service of Los Angeles. And after that, we will hear from Spanish remarks from David Ortiz from the Los Angeles Fire Department. After that, we'll call for questions from the right. And then I'll give an update about when to expect the next update. And with that, I'll hand it over to Mayor Bass.
Good evening, everyone. This has been a tough day for our city, a tough day for Angelenos, and I have spent time with our fire chief going around town looking at some of what is really devastation for many homeowners and residents who have had to suffer from mudslides related to the storm. So let me again thank our first responders who since yesterday afternoon have been actively responding to this historic storm, and our chief and the firefighters who again showed me, the fire chief showed me a video of our fire department hoisting someone out of a raging LA river via a helicopter. It was a young man who went to save his dog who wound up caught up in the river and had to be rescued. Again, to Angelenos, we need Angelenos to be cautious, to be careful, to be safe, and please stay home. We went after going to Studio City and Encino, where we met with Councilwoman Rahman and visited her residence and saw the devastation. We saw homes that were red tagged, yellow tagged, homes where residents had to evacuate, and homes that unfortunately have suffered incredible damage. We then went to Baldwin Hills. We met with Council President Pro Tem Harris Dawson, Councilwoman Hutt, to talk to Angelenos there. These were my neighbors because it was the neighborhood that I have lived in for a number of years, and we saw one home where the mud essentially went through the individual's bedroom and the house was red tagged. So this is personal for all of us. This has impacted Angelenos all across the city. And as I mentioned, hearing the news of significant flooding that forced more than 100 unhoused Angelenos to evacuate from a tiny home complex. We are evacuating them right now, and we are housing them in a shelter nearby. The shelter that was not in use at the time, but now instantly will be filled. I know that this is hard, but Angelenos, we will get through this. We anticipate the rains for a couple of more days, but know that we are not standing alone in our city. I have been in regular communication with our governor. Vice President Harris has reached out to us to let us know on the federal level and on the state level they are there, they are with us, they are standing by, and will be helpful with anything that we need. Angelenos must hear this warning through. This is not the end. Please remain safe and off the roads. Register for Notify LA. The city, again, and all of the first responders will be working around the clock to serve, and we will keep you informed as the storm continues. We will continue to provide updates as circumstances warrant. And now let me bring up our Fire Chief, Kristen Crowley.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. And your Los Angeles City Fire Department, in collaboration with other city entities, is continuing an all-city services approach in mitigating the hazards of this current rainstorm. The Emergency Operations Center continues to operate at a level 2. Now, between the last, you think about this, is 6 to 11 inches of rain have fallen across this region. An atmospheric river system will continue to bring periods of rain with a chance of thunderstorms through Tuesday. This additional rain can cause further flash flooding and mudslides in hillside areas. Now, Public Works has been hard at work. They have reported over 120 mudslides and debris flows throughout the city. As the mayor stated, we have just surveyed firsthand several and witnessed their damage across the city, and this is an incredible, incredible thing to see. It's a very powerful thing to see when the earth moves like that. And as the storm continues, there are many water-soaked hillsides that have the potential to slide. We would like to reiterate to use extreme caution if you live or travel in these areas. For the latest information on evacuations, visit lafd.org. Now, roads and infrastructure have been significantly impacted by the storm, and the Department of Public Works and other city partners are working diligently to clear the debris and make the necessary repairs. Building and safety reports that approximately 25 structures have been damaged due to heavy rainfall and mudslides. Officials are currently investigating these structures, and the updates will be given upon their reopening. DWP is diligently working to restore power to those customers who have experienced outages. Some of these outages take time to restore due to the downed trees that have fell into the wires. We are asking for patience as DWP crews are working to restore power to our residents. Now, at approximately 2:45, LAFD resources responded to a river rescue operation in the Pacoima Wash at Foothill Boulevard. A bystander reported a man jumped into the flowing water in pursuit of his dog. Now, LAFD firefighters, including specialized swiftwater rescue, urban search and rescue helicopter crews, successfully rescued the resident and his dog in a coordinated operation. LAFD operations lowered a rescuer into the water who was able to grab the patient, who was still conscious. He was later treated at a local hospital, and his canine was able to swim to the edge and escape the rapids. The rescue is a dramatic example of why we're asking residents to please stay away from the LA River and other moving water. Now, due to the heavy rains, the ground has become soft and slippery, making it very, very easily, you could easily fall into the wash. So please, please be careful. Moving forward, all of our city services will continue to identify and mitigate hazards to ensure that all of our city residents are safe, and we will restore the city back to normalcy. And we will do this as quickly as possible. The public can help us by reporting non-emergency calls to city services by calling 311. Now, as we continue to navigate the effects of this storm together, please continue to prioritize safety, slow down if you must travel, and take care of each other. Thank you very much, everyone. And now I would like to introduce, we'll go with, the Los Angeles County Supervisor Chair, Lindsay Horvath.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. It's now 5 p.m. rush hour across Los Angeles County. Thank you for your partnership in staying home and off our wet roads as much as possible. I want to thank our partners in the city of Los Angeles who are leading throughout the city, and all of our city partners in the 87 cities throughout Los Angeles County, as well as all of our partners who are helping to support our unincorporated areas. For anyone who is out, please be cautious. Never drive through flooded roadways. The best reminder we can share right now is the storm is not over. We need to stay safe and informed. Even as we look ahead, the impacts of this storm are not fully known. We need everyone to remain on high alert. We are under a proclaimed emergency in LA County, so we can expedite all resources across our emergency operations and recovery. LA County Fire has conducted 2 swiftwater responses with 16 people and 5 cats rescued from flooded areas. County crews have been out all day to do damage assessments and make repairs. Our public works and lifeguard teams are responding to damage to the Marvin Browdy bike trail on PCH at Chautauqua, and the county will continue to work with the city on repairs. Until those are made, this section will be closed. A reminder that this is not a time to be at the beach. In terms of road closures, in addition to the LA City road closures you've heard, we still have about a dozen across LA County roads. Topanga Canyon is closed. Other canyon roads are at risk for rock falls. If you can avoid the canyon roads, please do so. Across Los Angeles County, roads and public spaces, we have not seen the significant impacts for which we were prepared. Instead, the damage has been more like 1,000 cuts. Sinkholes, downed trees, areas of erosion, but we're doing well and our crews remain out. A reminder that 2 evacuation orders remain in place: the Owen fire burn area in Topanga Canyon and the Agua fire burn area near Acton. The American Red Cross has received community members at the county's 2 designated emergency evacuation shelters. And for the latest on evacuation orders, warnings, shelters, and roadway impacts, please visit lacounty.gov/emergency. To report a downed tree, flooding, or other roadway impact, call LA County Public Works, available 24 hours a day, 800-675-4357. Power outages are still likely, so make sure your flashlights are ready, your Go Kit is ready, and check in on your neighbors and ensure they have what they need to. Remember to sign up for alerts at ready.lacounty.gov/alerts. And a bit of good news, the Los Angeles River is only at 1/3 of its capacity, and as of 4 p.m., county stormwater facilities have captured 1.3 billion gallons of water, which could serve 32,800 homes for more than a year. Thank you to our communities across Los Angeles County for tuning into our guidance and staying safe. I'd now like to welcome up Councilmember Katie Yaroslavsky.
Good evening, everyone. I want to first acknowledge the incredible work of our city crews: LA Fire Department, LAPD, LA Sanitation, LA DOT, Street Services, DWP, and the thousands of city employees who've been out 24 hours a day for this storm, who continue to do so until we're all safe and it's over. Our city workforce has been relentless the last few days, cleaning storm drains ahead of the storm and preparing for it in every way possible. But this storm and our work to keep everyone safe, as has been mentioned, is far from over, and we all have to remain vigilant. As Mayor Bass alluded, there was a life-threatening situation up in our hillsides here. 7 homes were evacuated. A score of people, nearly 20 people, including many children, who are all out of harm's way now. I spoke with one of the residents earlier today. He and his family, including his 6-month-old and 2-year-old, are thankfully safe with family nearby. But it wasn't lost on him nor me how precarious this situation is and the very real danger that this storm presents. My team is directing city departments to install K-rails and other interventions in areas prone to mudslides to mitigate property damage as much as possible. But our number 1 priority is protecting human life. This is going to take all of us working together. Everyone in LA has to stay on high alert until the storm is over. That means signing up for Notify LA text messages, particularly if you're in the hillsides. You can do that at notifyla.org. Staying home whenever possible, and if you have to drive, please slow down. Don't go 10 over the speed limit, slow down. If you see a clogged storm drain, please report it to LA Sanitation at 800-773-2489 immediately. My team and I were out this morning on Wilshire Boulevard and Comstock, and it was remarkable how quickly 1 blocked lane became 3 blocked lanes, and then suddenly we were down to 1 lane of traffic headed west on Wilshire. It happened in a matter of 45 minutes. So I can't overstate how important it is. If you see a blocked storm drain in your neighborhood, please call and we'll come out and get it fixed right away. Finally, make sure you're prepared to evacuate if necessary, especially if you live in the hillside communities because of all the mudslide risks. Again, sign up for Notify LA at notifyla.org to stay up to date. Thank you. Let's be smart. Let's stay safe, and we'll all get through this together. I'd like to introduce Dr. Ariel Cohen with the National Weather Service.
Good evening. My name is Ariel Cohen, and I'm the meteorologist in charge of the National Weather Service in Los Angeles. As very proud Angelinos, it has been very challenging to see all of the adverse impacts that have happened across our community. On behalf of the National Weather Service, our hearts go out to everyone who has been adversely affected by a historic storm. We're talking about one of the wettest storm systems to impact the greater Los Angeles area since the history of records of weather have been made going back to the 1870s, one of the top 3. This is a testament to the sheer power of atmospheric rivers that have impacted the area. And People have suffered greatly, and our hearts go out to everyone. We've been working very closely, having our staff deployed across emergency operation centers across all of California, making sure that we are eye to eye with our partners in the emergency management community, as well as law enforcement and fire agencies, keeping our mayor apprised here to make sure that we are all responding together on a unified front from these dangerous conditions. As we go forward, we have light to moderate rain continuing to intermittently affect the Los Angeles area over the next several hours. While it's certainly tapered off in intensity compared to what happened last night, the ground is extremely saturated, super saturated. It's not able to hold any additional water before sliding. It's not going to take much rain for additional landslides, mudslides, and rock slides, and other debris flows to occur. As a result, the risk for additional landslides remains very high, and everyone needs to remain at a high state of readiness as we head through the overnight hours and heed evacuation orders. It is very important that everyone be prepared for continued threat for dangerous weather, even if the rainfall intensities are not very high. In addition, with the ground being very saturated, additional ponding of water is expected on area roadways. This is going to result in hazardous travel conditions. Never drive through a flooded roadway ever. Turn around, don't drown. You risk your life and everyone else in your vehicle if you ever go through a flooded roadway. Going into tomorrow, we'll have the occasional light to moderate rain continue, although we could have some breaks in that activity. If we're able to get some sunshine out during the day and we get some areas of renewed energy fueling more showers and thunderstorms, the risk for landslides and other flooding will significantly increase. So everyone, do not let your guard down. We need to be prepared for the continued impacts from this atmospheric river system. Everyone stay safe. And I'm going to pass it to David Ortiz.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. El Departamento de Bomberos, igual como todas las diferentes agencias a través de toda la ciudad y a través de las 88 ciudades en el condado de Los Ángeles, hemos atravesado un evento histórico en nuestro tiempo y clima. Y por esa razón, muchos de los centros de operaciones de emergencia continúan operando para servir al público las 24 horas. Hemos recibido de 6 a 11 pulgadas de lluvia a través de la región y ha impactado y causado varios deslaves a través de todas las áreas. Solamente en la ciudad de Los Ángeles hemos tenido más de 120 deslaves de lodo y piedra. Y es un peligro y una amenaza para el público. Pedimos al público que esté muy atento, especialmente en las carreteras de los cañones, ya que puede haber deslaves, lodo, piedras y otros objetos que pueden caer. Por favor, si usted no tiene negocio urgente, manténgase en su casa, no salga hasta que la tormenta pase. Continuará y esperamos más peligro de lluvias hasta el día de mañana. Y aún así, un poco de lluvia puede causar deslaves adicionales, ya que la tierra está saturada y no puede retener más agua. Las diferentes agencias de obras públicas están trabajando para hacer reparos a la infraestructura que ha sido dañada por esta lluvia que hemos tenido. Y más de 25 estructuras han sido dañadas en el municipio de Los Ángeles. Las compañías de energía están tratando de restaurar servicio a miles de personas que han sido impactadas por los árboles que han caído y trozado las líneas de poder y energía. A las 2:45 de esta tarde, el Departamento de Bomberos fue notificado de que un hombre entró al río de Los Ángeles para tratar de salvar a su perro. No podemos enfatizar el peligro que existe en el río de Los Ángeles, ya que el cemento es resbaloso y podría llegar a ser mortífero. Nuestros equipos de rescate acuático, de búsqueda de rescate urbano, helicópteros y otros técnicos especialistas pudieron salvar a esta persona de una manera efectiva y una manera positiva. Queremos decirle que el perro salió por sí mismo y un helicóptero fue quien pudo rescatar a este hombre fuera del agua. Los compañeros del condado, Departamento de Bomberos del condado, han tenido rescates similares también que han salido de resultados positivos. Pero aún así queremos seguirle recordando que cualquier cuerpo de agua, cualquier área que está inundada es peligrosa. Por favor, no trate de atravesar ningún río o algún cuerpo de agua que usted mire. Le enfatizamos que haga su seguridad personal y la de su familia la prioridad. Y por favor, manténgase alerta, especialmente en las áreas de las colinas, ya que posiblemente continúen deslaves. Muchísimas gracias.
So we're going to open it up for questions, but before we do, we're tracking another update tomorrow morning at 9. The location is still TBD. Any questions?
Talk about the rescue. It comes to a pet, we see it all, unfortunately, all too often. Can you talk about truly how dangerous this is, not only for the person going after their animal, but also for the fire department, rescuers, that kind of thing?
Sure. So, unfortunately, that situation is not uncommon. You just think from your personal lives how close we are to our pets. They're part of our family members, so we're not surprised when individuals will jump in a raging river to rescue their family member. But with that, just it's a word of caution. The first and foremost important step is just to stay away from the water in the first place. So the good news is, on this particular case, both the canine, the dog, and the individual that jumped in are safe and well. And I tell you, I couldn't be prouder of our LAFD members. We have our pilots, we have our specialized search and rescue individuals, our swift water, our firefighters, medics, dispatchers, everybody within the entire organization do an amazing job. And that was just one example of the many, many rescues that have occurred over the past 2 days, let alone what happens every single day in the city of LA.
Okay. The mayor's actually on the phone with the president at the moment. So are there, she might. Yeah. So any other questions while we? Yeah.
Again, about that, kind of how the river works, I guess. People think they can jump in and it's, it's not moving that swiftly, or it may look like it's
Right.
not. Can you talk kind of how it works?
Sure, just the dynamics of how powerful moving water is. They say 6 inches of water can just sweep you off your feet. So it surprises people, and that's just not only in a river type, the LA River area, but just if you've got moving water in the street. It's actually very, very dangerous. So that's a very important point that the community should understand: is take caution. Whether you're driving through moving water, it's very, very powerful. So with that, just take caution and try to stay away from moving water in general.
Hang on one
Thank you.
second. I asked the president if he would give a message to Angelenos. Mr. President?
Mr. President?
Yes.
If you could just say a word, I know Angelenos would really appreciate hearing from you.
Look, first of all, I think you guys are undergoing one hell of an operation here, and the catastrophic risk of flash flooding is still, I guess, in the works. I just got off the phone with Governor Newsom. We're working closely together that the state is mobilized with the resources you need. If there's anything more you need from us, from my FEMA director, Deanna Griswold, is on top of this, along with Region 9 Administrator Bob Fenton. And FEMA is well positioned with personnel, State Emergency Operations Center, and resources across the state. And we'll get any help on the way as soon as you guys request it. So just let me know. That's why I'm calling.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. President. I know that Angelenos asked.
Any other questions?
There wasn't a swift water rescue involving a child, right?
Chief?
Yes, I can speak to that. Today we did have a report of a approximate 6-year-old male in the river moving quickly. With that, we launched an immediate air attack as well. We had our helicopters up searching for a potential victim, as well as our ground resources that were strategically located. And we already have a game plan. If anybody's in the water, we know the rate of travel, we know where that individual could end up, so we strategically placed resources from the LAFD. The good news is we did not find a victim. The end result of that was we ceased in our operation of searching. There was no victim found. We did then relay that information just in case the victim was already far ahead of where our resources were into the LA County area, and we immediately made sure that they are aware there's a potential victim, but we did not find a victim today. Yeah, thank you.
All right, if there are no more questions, right now we're going to take the group of speakers behind to greet members of the LAFD. Obviously, press is invited to film that. After that, we will make our way to the parking lot where there's drone footage of the incident that happened just across the hill. So Gabby will take press, and